What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lamonts G Custom Live Show. I'm Harvey Lamont Richard, your host. Um, I gave in, y'all. Yeah, my lips shut. I gave in. Look at my ears just popped. I had a heart to heart with my wife, and she's telling me, in her early days growing up, she never had anybody to give her any Valentines, and this, that, and blah, blah, blah. I gave in. I drove many miles to get her something special. It's simple, but something special. And I'm gonna handwrite something out on paper, asking her to be my Valentine. I think getting a card would be not corny, but expected. Uh, and I'm gonna treat this like we 15, 16 years old. I'm gonna write out on a piece of paper. Will you be my Valentine? My initial thoughts was to have something sent to her job, and make her a little envious, make the other women in our office envious, but a little bit too late for that. But yeah, I drove many miles, and to get her something special for Valentine's. That's that. Um, and you know what? It is what it is. God has blessed me with three beautiful children. Um, and I've been married twice, and I don't have anything bad to say about my first wife. I screwed it up. Oh, we both made mistakes. We were both young, and we both made mistakes. But God gave us two beautiful children that I love dearly, and she will always be a friend of mine because, like I told her then, and I tell her now, before we were anything, we were friends, and she needed me, and I needed her at that time. And when you allow other things to affect that friendship, a lot of stuff become toxic. Uh, and I did some awful things. She did some awful things. We got past it. We raised our kids and moved on. Both of us have remarried, and we're happy. And um, I thank God for that. I thank God for her. I thank God for my current wife. I thank God for my children. You know, just wanted to say that, get that out of the way. I got to make this quick. I got a few things that's about to happen within the next 30 minutes. So let me just start here. For the past couple of days in the news cycle, it's been about the lady in Arizona, the missing lady in Arizona, and it's been about the Super Bowl debacle. And I'm pretty much sick of talking about the Super Bowl. I'm sick of it, sick of it, sick of it. But one thing that has not been in the news in a positive way is the Winter Olympics. I don't follow it. Only thing about the Winter Olympics that I like is the curling. And I found out yesterday or 2 days ago that one of America's top curlers out of Minnesota, he's an attorney out of Minnesota. Go, think about that for a minute. And of course, he has some anti-American rhetoric. And it's pretty much been that way with a lot of the Olympic athletes, winter Olympic athletes. Let's put it like that. To be honest with you, you have people who follow this and on top of try to get any bit of news they can. It's only been one female or one individual period that's representing the United States that has come out and said, I'm proud of my country, I love my country, I'm going to represent my country in the best way possible. And I think she's one of the ladies who, I don't know the event, but they get up on this tall mountain and ski down and do all this whoop-de-doo stuff. They said she blew out her knee, ACL, so she will not be able to continue. I want to say this happened Sunday, Monday, sometime. Um, I really don't. I just heard it, reported through some of our great independent media people. But the overwhelming news coming out of, and I think the Winter Olympics is in Italy, I want to say, um, it's been total negativity. They hating this country. Um, got some negative to say about this country, whether it's the ICE operations, which are needed, or whether it's just the way things, are in this country, period. And this is what ticks me off. You have these athletes that are given the greatest tools when it comes to their sport, the greatest coaches. They have the greatest facilities. And you got something negative to say about this country, that really ticks me off. Now, mind you, I think everybody has a right to their own opinion. And we are American and we have that right. But you need to be bitch slapped for putting down the country who have put you in the position where you are. Okay, you're a great athlete. You know how to ski. You know how to figure skate. You know how to do this. You know how to do that. But in training, this country give you the greatest tools, the best coaches, everything you need to succeed in the Olympics because you're in front of the world and you trash this country. You need to be bitch slapped. Plain and simple. And my God, I hope they see this because I don't appreciate that. I don't. I don't appreciate it not one little bit. I think about the athletes, just your common everyday athletes, your baseball players, your football players, your basketball players. The overwhelming majority don't have too much negative to say about life in general. They have their opinions, but they don't broadcast their negativity. They keep it within inside them. So like in basketball, for instance, you got Doc Rivers, who I used to love back in his playing days, but he is just a piece of trash now, man. Doc Rivers and what's the I can't think of the coach's name. He used to play with Jordan. I want to say either Jordan or Utah. One or two. Steve Kerr. I want to say they have nothing but negativity to say. Steve Kerr was so egregious. He had to retract and apologize for some stupid crap he said. Dude, when you find yourself having to apologize, you just need to shut the fuck up. You really do. You just need to shut up. Pardon my language. Pardon my language. This stuff gets me fired up because it just makes no sense. And I can actually accept, some scumbag, former NBA player running his mouth. Okay, you a citizen. They give you a bully platform that you really don't need to be talking about anything you don't know about, like politics and government. You have no idea what you're talking about. But okay, I give you that. But for these individuals who are representing this country, you're gonna go in front of a microphone and trash your own country in front of these other countries, in front of the media. That's just egregious, man. It turns my stomach. It makes me sick. Oh my goodness. Listen, we are in the 250th year of this country's founding. Now, I don't know how far, they say Columbus discovered this country in 14 something, and, this happened in the next 2 or 3 centuries, let's see, 14, 50, 60, the next, 300 years after that, and then we came together and they said, let's do it. Let's start up our own country. And the men and women of that time did it. They had hell to pay. They had to, pay a price. But ever since then, 250 years ago, the United States of America has just been dominant. We have been the standard. And you got people who were born here want to kill it. You got people who were born in other countries that want to kill it. They can't stand it. They can't stand that we are united as one. Even though we're heavily divided, We're still the United States of America, man. And before I continue that rant, let me just say a lot of people in media and independent media get something wrong. And listen, I hate to bring up that stupid halftime show, but they said at one point this idiot was calling out many countries in the Americas, and we are part of the Americas, from Canada to Costa Rica to Chile, South America, Central America, North America. We are the Americas. That's absolute fact. A lot of people refer to the United States of America as America. We are the United States of America, just like Brazil is Brazil of South America. Listen, I was a nerd. I was a geek when it came to social studies and geography. I was a absolute nerd in school, and I still love it to this day. I could tell you each and every county in the state of Alabama, each and every capital of every state in the United States of America. I could. Um, I've gotten older and a lot of gray, so a lot of that, it takes me a while to remember this and that sometimes, but that's how much of a nerd I was. So I just wanted to get that out real quick. We are part of the Americas, but we are the United States of America. Got that out. So let me continue with saying that these individuals who trash their own country, that's just low down. That's just sad. When you in that position that you're representing your country, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say nothing at all. Don't say nothing at all. We have countries around us, Canada. I honestly think to myself, how do these people make it day by day? Just your average Joe, I could get, even if they got warped minds, but your politicians. When I see the politicians in this country, I'm like, how do they get up every day? They hate themselves. Politicians in my own country, in the United States, they hate themselves. They would do anything to trash our president. They would do anything to trash the success of our country. Think about this, y'all. Think about your own home. Let's just say you have a father, you have a mother, you have children, and one of your children is a phenom. Is at 14 years old, one of the smartest cats on earth. People asking him to go to med school at 14 years old and to do this and do that. Just extraordinarily great stuff out of this 14-year-old. And as a father, you should be proud of that. As a brother or a mother, you should be proud of that. But you trash this 14-year-old. Oh, he just thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I hate it. I hate it. Why? Why would you hate your own son, your own brother, your own flesh and blood? Because he's smart, because he's extraordinary. That's the same thing about this country. We are going in the right direction, making great strides, dominating the world economically. And you got people who hate that. They hate the fact that we're dominating the world economically. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It baffles me to the nth degree. I love my country. And, had I represented it, had I represented my country, whether it would been boxing or any other event, I would have stood tall, waving my flag. I love America. I love my United States of America. And I think you had some individuals, I won't say George Foreman and maybe a handful or more that did that, when they were in the Olympics. But these trash SOBs we got today, especially in the Winter Olympics. Now the Summer Olympics, they're gonna come up in what 2 years, and we're gonna see what they have to offer. Now, hopefully, they won't be as egregious as these clowns here, man. But for the overwhelming majority of our athletes that's representing this country in Italy, it's just been sad, 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 sad to see, and I don't understand it. But anyway, yeah, just wanted to get that out. Just wanted to um, pinpoint that for you guys who haven't heard. Yeah, our Winter Olympians, they're trash. The majority of them, they're trash. I still love my curling. I think Sweden. I want to say I can't. It's hard for me to follow. But boy, I'm gonna tell you some. 4 years ago, 8 years ago, I love me some Winter Olympics, especially when it came to curling and the downhill slope thing. I love that. But like I said, it's hard to support these people now. But I did watch Sweden defeat the United States in curling. It was, I don't know if it was the man or the woman or the couple, but Sweden defeated America. And but I did get to see a little curling this year because that is my favorite Winter Olympic sport, and it was great. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. I love you. Thank you for supporting me. And we're going to keep this going in the right direction. As always, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, keep him in your heart, y'all. Keep him close. Keep him in your heart. And I'll see you next time.